Hello Hathaways, I'm making you a little instructional video because you won't have me around to help you unless you'd like to pay me to stay around and show you the ins and outs of the Waverunner. I'm willing to do that. In the meantime, this will have to do. This is your front storage compartment. In here, if you pull it up all the way, it stays up on its own. Your fire extinguisher is under here. If the Coast Guard should pull you over, you have to be able to identify it, and that's it. This is your tow rope for tubes. We'll show you how to put that on in just a minute.
Can I push the go button?
And then up here, we have, this is where we keep the lanyards and the whistles. The whistles are the signaling device. You take the lanyard out, you put it underneath this, it's your safety, and then you push the green button. The green button is right there, and the red button, which is in front, is your stop. You can't run it more than about 15 seconds without it being in the water, or you'll burn the engine up. You have to have this on your wrist, or if you're using this one, this end goes underneath the kill switch, and this one you must attach to your life jacket. If you don't have this on your wrist or this on your life jacket, you no longer have a Waverunner. If you fall off, it goes all the way to England before it stops. So it's pretty simple. When you do start it up, go ahead and start. When it is going, your display is right here. It shows how much fuel, in this case it's full, and your RPMs and your miles per hour. This also shows that it has 64.6 hours on it right now. Okay, kill it. Remember, there are no brakes ever on a Waverunner, so stopping, you have to allow plenty of room for it to stop, and there's no reverse. So if you go somewhere, remember, you have to kill the switch and then kind of work your way around, and then you can go forward. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to take the cover off if for some reason you need to flush the engine or something happens and your battery goes dead. You just lift up on this back lever here, lift up, and then pull this to the side, pull back a little bit, and you've got several things I need to show you in here.
Yep, right.
The first thing I'm going to show you, this is your oil fill. If you're using it for a whole week, make sure you check the oil. It's pretty simple. You unscrew it. It's got its own dipstick built right in, and it's ready to go. It should never be a problem. The next one, this is your flush out for the engine to get the salt water out. And you unscrew it, and you have your hose. This attachment just screws on. I keep it in the front. You take it, there's two tabs. You put it in here, push down, turn, and it locks in. Turn the engine on, then the water, let it run for about 5 minutes, turn the water off, then the engine off. So the water goes on and off. The Waverunner engine goes on and off before and after you take the water out. And then cover it back up. The battery, if you should happen to have some strange battery problem, it's a new one from last year, so it shouldn't be. The battery is located right there. And it's a regular 12-volt charge. You can actually charge it from a vehicle if you need to. It's incredibly simple. This is your tow bolt.
That's where you
take your rope. And you, the first part to put it on is here. You run it up, through, then you have to pull the whole rope all the way through it. On the end of the tube, you just connect it through the end of the towing hook that it has on it. Okay. And the most important part, you will definitely get a ticket if you're not wearing a life jacket. If you're on it or being pulled by it, it is law that you must wear a life jacket. So there's plenty of them, plenty for all your sizes. Just make sure you have it on. The next part is where the drain plugs are. I hope you don't, but if you happen to get some salt water inside it, it does have bilge pumps which automatically clears it out, but you will need to probably rinse the bottom out with fresh water and some salt away when you're done at the end of the time. These are the drain plugs, one on this side, one on the starboard and port side, and they just simply screw on. They're simple to get on and off. Always make sure if you take it out of the water that these are closed before you put it in the water, or you will have a sunk Waverunner. Most Yamahas have a rooster tail that shoots up for identification purposes. I have disconnected that hose. If you want it connected, underneath here you can see where you can put it on. This just goes on, but the reason I disconnected it is if you're pulling somebody on a tube, the rooster tail shoots up and lands right in their face. So I just pulled the hose off. If you want it on for safety reasons, you can put it on. And over here, once again, if the Coast Guard should pull you over for just a regular routine check, they ask you to identify this sticker. This is rated for 3 people. It gives you how many people and the maximum load. That is required by federal law that you have that, and you have to be able to identify it. So there's your sticker, and the registration and all of those forms will be in the front large, the 16-gallon compartment up at the very front where the fire extinguisher is, and they'll be in a Ziploc bag right inside here. Okay, that's it. Oh, and I should tell you about the trailer. When you're loading it and unloading it, really simple. This has a simple winch, crank it. This releases the tines on it. Then you can let go. It has, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you push down to release it, pull that through, and it'll come right off the moment you get in the water. Real easy. And when you drive it back on, if it doesn't come up all the way, just lock it, put this on, and crank it up. Make sure your T's are down so it doesn't blow off. And on the very back, there are straps that you have to run from the holes here up and over, across, and you just pull them tight so that it doesn't fly off or turn when you're going around the corner. They're red, and I'll show you those in just a moment. A couple other safety things I should tell you about. If you should happen to roll it and it's upside down in the water, you swim up to the back of it and it shows you which way to turn it. Obviously that'll be right side up when you're upside down, and it'll show you which way to turn it, and the Waverunner will flip over. If you turn it the other way, you flood the engine compartment with water. Also, if you should go over some seaweed or something, underneath there's the intake valve grate. It's right down here where the wasp nest is. I don't know if you can see that. And normally, if you're getting any problems when you're driving, like it's stalling out or having any problems, if you just kind of shake it side to side, stand up and move it side to side, it'll clear it out. If not, you're going to swim underneath and pull out any seaweed with the engine turned off, obviously. Clear out any seaweed. Also, be careful in the shallows. You don't want to suck sand up into it. If you suck sand up into it, you damage the impeller, and that cuts down on the performance of it. Okay, here's how you put the straps on in the back. You just take the S-hook, hook it through here, bring it up. Make sure the buckle part is over the turf, the hydro turf is what they call it. And then the long side, just on this on that, in, comes up, put them together, and then just pull them tight. And that is required for all the towing. And fuel is on the port side, right here. It holds 14 or 16 gallons of fuel, I can't remember which, or 14 to 18 gallons of fuel. And it's real simple. It just takes the cheap regular gas. That's all you need to do.